AI tools versus AI systems. Why small businesses that build systems win. There's a pattern emerging that most people haven't noticed yet. Some small businesses are growing faster, serving more clients, and generating more revenue than their competitors, but they're not hiring aggressively. They're not working 16-hour days, and they're not burning through capital on expensive software subscriptions. What separates them isn't access to better technology. Everyone has access to the same AI tools. The difference is how they're using them. Most businesses are treating AI like a collection of helpful tools. A small number are building AI systems. And that distinction is becoming the defining competitive advantage of the next decade. This isn't about hype. It's about structure. And if you understand the difference between these two approaches, you'll understand why some businesses will scale effortlessly while others will stay trapped in the same cycle of trading time for money. The confusion around AI. If you ask 100 small business owners whether they use AI, most will say yes. Then you ask them how, and the answer is almost always the same. They use ChatGPT to write emails. They use it to generate social media captions. Maybe they summarize meeting notes or brainstorm ideas for client proposals. And that's useful. Nobody's arguing it isn't. But it's not changing how their business actually operates. The confusion is understandable. AI has been marketed as this revolutionary force, and it is, but most people are only experiencing the surface layer. They're using AI the same way they'd use a calculator or a spell checker. It helps them complete tasks faster, but it doesn't change the underlying structure of their work. The result is that AI feels helpful in the moment, but forgettable by the end of the week. It saves a few minutes here and there, but it doesn't free up hours. It doesn't remove bottlenecks. It doesn't let you serve twice as many clients without hiring twice as many people. That's because tools and systems are fundamentally different things. AI tools, what they really are. An AI tool is something you use when you have a specific task in front of you. You open it, you give it input, it gives you output, and then you move on. Tools require you to be present. They require you to remember to use them. They require you to copy and paste, to review, to edit, to format, to decide what happens next. Every single time you use a tool, you're the one initiating the process. You're the bottleneck. Let's say you're a consultant and you use AI to draft client proposals. That's helpful. It might cut your writing time in half, but you still have to sit down and do it. You still have to open the tool, input the client details, review the output, adjust the tone, add the pricing, format the document, and send it. The tool saved you 30 minutes. But you're still spending an hour on something that happens 10 times a month. You're still the limiting factor. This is what most businesses mean when they say they use AI. They've adopted tools that make individual tasks easier, but the tasks themselves haven't gone away. The business still runs the same way it always did. It just runs slightly faster. AI systems, the real shift. A system is different. A system doesn't wait for you to remember to use it. It runs in the background. It takes an input, makes a decision, takes an action, and produces an output without you being involved. Think of it this way. When a lead fills out a form on your website, what happens next? In most businesses, someone gets a notification. They manually check the form. They decide whether it's a good fit. They draft a response. They send it. Maybe they add the lead to a spreadsheet. Maybe they forget. That's a tool-based workflow. Every step requires a human. Now imagine this. A lead fills out the form. The system reads it, evaluates it based on criteria you've set, determines whether it matches your ideal client profile, sends a personalized response within 60 seconds, books a call on your calendar if they're qualified, adds them to your CRM, and tags them based on their needs. You didn't touch it. The system did. That's the difference. A system removes you from the process. It doesn't save you a few minutes. It saves you entirely. And once you have one system running, you can build another, then another, until the majority of your business runs without you being the bottleneck. Tool users versus system builders. Tool users think in tasks. System builders think in workflows. A tool user asks, how can I do this faster? A system builder asks, how can I make sure this happens without me? Tool users stay busy. They're always working. They're always putting out fires. They're fast, they're efficient, but they're still limited by the number of hours in the day. System builders create leverage. They spend time up front designing how things should work, then they step back and let the systems run. They're not faster. They're absent. And that's the point. The trap with tools is that they make you feel productive without actually changing your capacity. You can respond to emails faster, but you're still responding to the same number of emails. You can write proposals faster, but you're still writing them yourself. Systems change capacity. They let you serve 50 clients with the same effort it used to serve 10. Realistic small business examples. Let's look at what this actually means in practice. Take a marketing agency with 5 people. Before they built systems, every new client required the same repetitive onboarding process. Someone would manually send welcome emails, request assets, schedule kickoff calls, set up project management boards, and assign tasks. It took about 4 hours per client, and it was all done by the founder or a senior team member. They built a system. Now when a contract is signed, the system triggers everything automatically. The client gets a welcome sequence. They're asked to upload assets through a structured form. A kickoff call is scheduled based on availability. A project board is created with their details pre-filled. Tasks are assigned to the right team members. The founder doesn't touch it. The client gets a faster, more consistent experience. And the agency can onboard 3 times as many clients without adding headcount. Or consider a solo consultant who sells digital strategy services. Before systems, every discovery call ended the same way. She'd take notes, manually draft a proposal, send it, follow up a few days later, then follow up again if there was no response. Each proposal took 90 minutes, and she was doing 6 a month. She built a system. Now after a discovery call, she fills out a simple form with the client's key details. The system generates a tailored proposal, sends it automatically, schedules 2 follow-up emails, and alerts her only if the client replies or if no response comes after a week. She went from spending 9 hours a month on proposals to 15 minutes. And her close rate went up because responses are faster and follow-up is consistent. These aren't hypothetical. This is what happens when you stop thinking in tools and start thinking in systems. Why system-based businesses win long-term? The real advantage isn't just time saved. It's that system-based businesses can scale in ways tool-based businesses can't. If you're using tools, growth means more work. 10 clients means 10 proposals, 10 onboarding processes, 10 follow-up sequences. 20 clients means 20. Your revenue grows, but so does your workload. Eventually, you have to hire. With systems, growth doesn't require proportional effort. The system that onboards 1 client can onboard 100. Your costs don't rise linearly. Your stress doesn't rise linearly. And your clients get a better experience. Systems respond faster than humans. They don't forget. They don't get overwhelmed. They're consistent. That's what creates the gap. Over time, businesses with systems can undercut competitors on price, over-deliver on service, and still be more profitable because their cost structure is fundamentally different. Common myths. There are a few myths worth addressing quickly. First, AI systems are not just for big companies. The tools to build them are accessible, affordable, and increasingly simple. You don't need a development team. You need clarity about your workflows. Second, you don't need to be technical. You need to think clearly about how your business operates. If you can map out a process on paper, you can build a system around it. Third, systems don't remove the human touch. They remove the repetitive, low-value work so you can focus on the high-value, human parts of your business. The parts that actually require judgment, creativity, and relationships. How to start? If this resonates and you're wondering where to begin, start with 1 workflow, not 10. 1. Pick something repetitive. Something you do multiple times a week that follows a predictable pattern. Client onboarding, lead follow-up, content approval, invoicing, scheduling. Map it out. Write down every step that currently happens. Who does what, when, and why. Then ask, which of these steps could happen automatically? Which require a human decision? Which require a human touch? Start small. Build 1 system. Let it run. Refine it. Then build the next one. The goal isn't to automate everything. It's to free yourself from the work that doesn't need you so you can focus on the work that does. Closing. Here's the shift. Tools make you faster. Systems make you scalable. Tools help you do more. Systems help you do less while achieving more. The businesses that understand this won't just survive the next decade. They'll dominate their markets. Not because they have better technology, but because they've built better structures. If this way of thinking is new to you, you're not behind. You're early. Most people are still treating AI like a shortcut. You have the chance to treat it like infrastructure. If you found this helpful, consider subscribing. We'll keep exploring how small businesses can build leverage without losing what makes them human. Thanks for watching.